Right, and we're. Whoops, the music's mad loud. All right, yeah, we're live. What up?
Yo, what
Yo,
up?
what's good?
What's going on?
Yo, you coming to Texas in September?
No, I think I'm actually gonna be in China.
What? For music?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh shoot, that's
Got a
tight.
little tour planned. Got booked for one I think like mid-September.
Oh, so it's around the same time. What the hell? That's exciting.
Yeah, actually it is around like September 13th, 15th, and 17th, I think. But yeah, it's like I think it's like 4 different cities. I don't know anything about China though, so
Yeah. Well, it's the,
should be
the
dope.
same date. September 13th is when this this
There we go. I'll be watching on the plane.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on the time zone difference, but you'll be able
True.
to catch something. But that's cool. Anyway, yeah, I guess we're about to make our definitive 2X tier list, and I don't know. I mean, there have been many have come and gone over the years, but I'd say in the last decade there hasn't been any like legit one, and I mean, I don't really care for tier lists, to be honest. Like, because in my
Yeah,
brain,
it's more it's just a recreational thing. It's not like a you gotta believe this, otherwise you're trash or something.
no, you better believe everything I say. No, but like, I think it makes for fun conversation as long as you don't take it like way too serious. And even the Japanese players, they're gonna have debates on like specific matchup charts. Not really the tier list. I think the tier list for the most part, we know who's top tier, we know who's bottom tier. It's just like the mid that gets kind of.
Yeah, the mid is like pretty free flowing.
Yeah. I mean that as well as like the below top tier. I mean, till this day, people still argue about like, all right, after Barlog, who's next? Like, is it Dalsum? Is it Chun? Is it Bison? Is it Estegat? And like, people still argue about that. When to me, it's like, who cares? They're all in the same. They're all on the same plane. But I'm gonna try my best. So the purpose of this stream is gonna be to make a tier list. And then it'll be blind to you. So we can just chat while we're making them. You're gonna make yours, and then
Right.
when we're both
Yep.
done, let's compare and contrast. I think that's
Sounds good. And just a disclaimer, like tier lists really, it's not a big deal because like I see bottom tier veterans and like really like it's the player, it's not the character. A lot of times in this game it is the character. Like you're just gonna lose certain matchups because of the advantages and disadvantages. But there's people who make low tier characters look high tier, and yeah, it's not just the main thing is like focus on your character, the one you want to play, and make sure that you can like execute combos before you worry about minuscule other little things. Because it's not like the frames and like pixels aren't gonna matter if you can't connect links. Like if you can't link combos, and there's no who cares about pixel. Like who cares about frame data? Like it really doesn't matter if you aren't like at that point where you can't get your combos down first. So practice.
I mean, in my opinion, like the low tiers in this game are good. Like Blanca's not a joke. Cammy's not a joke. I was talking about Cammy just hanging with Jack T off and folks over when we were at Jazzy. And I don't know if you're making your tier list right now. By the way, I should probably start while I'm talking.
Oh yeah, I'll do it while I'm talking. Yeah.
All right, so I was chatting and I was like, because you play a low tier, your brain, like your mindset shouldn't be okay. Like it's okay for me to lose because I'm using a lower tier. Like,
Yeah,
that's not the way that it works. Like you gotta. Like the character is low tier because it just need to be placed somewhere. It doesn't mean that they're not strong. like Cammy. Yeah. So what I said is like Cammy has a legit TOD that a lot of other characters don't have. Like she can legit win off of jump in 3-hit combo, you're stunned, and then you die. Ken doesn't have that. Ken doesn't have, let me jump into a 3-hit combo and you're stunned. Like, he has to get another mix-up. So...
Right, there has to be 2 successful rock, paper, scissors wins, like, in a row. You know?
Alright, well, it's not a race, by the way, but I'm going to start. So, my way of thinking about the tier list, I'll just think out loud. Just do the ones where, like, there's not much of a dispute. I think everyone starts you know, right away.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm going, like, by character, so, like, the tier will be, like, who I think is first, like, A tier. You know, it'll go in order of who I think is the strongest there. And then down the way. So, like, if I put Chun-Li first for A, then Sagat, then I think that Chun is stronger than Sagat.
Right. Yeah, I got the same thought process. I mean, I made one of these recently where it was actually when I was coming back from Japan, I think. Yeah, it was a long flight and I was bored, so like, I'm just gonna make a tier list.
Piss everybody off.
Yeah, piss everybody off while flying back. I mean, it
There
it did, you know, people did ask questions, and because they were in disagreements with some of the stuff. But here, let me do this guy off. Well, it was weird. Like, I had to make additional rows when I realized, oh shoot, like I can't put S Ryu in the same tier as like regular Ryu, you know?
Right.
So even though like I think X Ryu has a better match overall, it's just S Ryu, if someone cared enough to make him like OD busted and just only use safe tech, I think that character is just like broken. So
that's real.
Yeah, like losing Shinku, losing all that stuff, like, yeah, it's, you know, it sucks, but I think if you play this character in a very Kuso way, like he's kind of OP.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the weirdness of like the Tatsus, the invincibility of a bunch of different things is just like, it's really strange. Like you'd have to have like multiple SRU players to really get into like understanding the full strangeness and like so-ness of the character, because there's just like a lot of weird stuff that you see that you don't know how to like react to, like the like the Tatsu, I think it's mid Tatsu. Mid Tatsu just like lands a frame or goes a frame longer and then lands all weird.
Yeah,
so you can't,
so
like,
hard to punish.
It's strange. Yeah,
I'm trying to remember how I did this, because like I gotta put all these S characters somewhere again on mine, but I'll probably remove them for the final one. Like, it's just based on how our conversation goes. I think the goal of this is, how do we get the same or as close to the same thing as possible? Unless, you know, if we have disagreements, like, that's also fine. But
yeah. I'm trying to figure out, are we doing S through D or are we adding an E?
No, so on mine I did S plus S, A plus A, B plus B, C plus C, D plus D. But
oh, okay, got you.
Yeah.
Or you want to do that for this one? All right, let's do it for this one. So,
but
pluses
I mean,
on everything.
Yeah, basically pluses on everything, and the reason why I did that is like, it was really for the mid tier. I thought needed to actually be fleshed out a bit more. In particular,
I got a lot on like A tier and then, you know, B tier, so I need like some B pluses and.
Yeah, I thought it was time to properly split up the B, like the mid tier of the game. Basically, Bip, Ken, Fei Long. It's like if those three characters were the only characters in the game, where would I put them? So
yeah, I feel.
You know, so I think it's important to make that distinction, because this is one of the feedback points I got when I made this revised tier list. People are like, what? Fei Long is not low tier? I'm like, he hasn't been low tier in years. It's just we kept putting him there on our tier list, and
Yeah.
you know, it's time to move him in the right spot.
Yeah, I mean, he's strong mid tier. And that's I mean, even people who aren't even in touch with this game's current meta anymore know that Fei Long has been moving up for like quite some time. You hear James Chen say it all the time. Like every time he commentates and sees a Fei Long, he says it every time. So I mean, if James Chen knows it and knows it to be a fact like that, then you know it's not a exaggeration to say it.
I think I'm getting there. Just trying to remember where I put these guys.
I'm just going to D. No D plus. I guess we should do it the exact same way. What do you have? You got S.
So it starts with S plus, then S, A plus, A, and so on and so forth until D plus D.
So Goki's on S plus.
Yeah, I don't have a Goki image on mine, but Barlog is there. So I guess if Goki was here, he'd be in between S plus and S. So, you know.
And you got Barlog at S plus.
Yeah, and then it goes into S.
Okay, gotcha. I'm just going with S. I don't believe in S plus, so I'm gonna go with S.
Oh, you don't believe in S double plus?
I don't. S is the be all end all. You gotta go with everything below that. There has to be a ceiling.
Okay. I mean, I could redo mine, so it's like
no,
S.
no. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
Because all I gotta do is add
That's
E
just
in
a
here.
difference. It's just a difference in philosophy.
Yeah. Well, why is it S in Japan ranking? Like, obviously, when we rank stuff, it's A, B, C, D. Like, what's S? I know it's a Japanese thing.
I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. But every single game I've ever played since like I was a kid, every like top rank has always been S. I don't know why.
The S plus is a North American modification.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm seeing people in the chat. I'm just gonna read what they're saying because they're looking at my screen.
Yeah,
Honda. So Honda is A, yes. Blanca is C plus. No. Blanca is pretty mid. I mean, like low.
Blanca's trash.
Yeah, is Blanca as bad as Cammy? Yes. And then yeah, S Blanca is trash. Yeah. I mean, he has 3 matchups that he wins, I guess, but S Zangief is still gonna be better than Blanca, even though Blanca beats him. Actually, without the back hop and the Amazon River Run, I don't know, maybe that match is not as free for S Blanca versus S Zangief. Because you can't control where you're going to be at all times. Zangief just does big damage. It takes a while for Blanca to do anything. Any type of damage. So, yeah, I think in my tier list, I'm just going to review it again. I definitely made some changes to the tier right below Barlog. I made one change there that I think makes sense. My mid tier, I made some changes, which I think makes sense. And then I think everything else pretty much good. Yeah. Like, if we're talking X characters only, T-Hawk is definitely bottom tier. Because he loses...
No S characters except for Got. At least on mine.
Oh, we'll look at it, and comes a point we gotta delete some stuff we can. But I think I'm good where I'm at. I'm ready.
Okay, let me once over mine real quick and...
Yeah. don't know. What do people in the chat think? Obviously, I'll explain my reason for the placements for all the characters. Like, I'm not just blindly throwing them there. It was a pretty long flight, so I did some thinking, some inner soul searching. Yeah, Rescue Ryan. I didn't know old Ryu is better than new. I mean, like the other thing is we don't have matchup data for every character. Like, there's no one that even came close to Damdai's S Ryu in Japan. Like,
Yeah.
Damdai plays a Damdai style, so he's not pushing for like actually going super cheap. Like if a CE player picked S Ryu but actually learned the 2X meta but played it in a CE like, you know, a hybrid style. But like you can't just play a CE style. Like, you can't do cross up and then a bunch of light kicks. Like, it's stupid, right? But if you understand how powerful your hitboxes are and all that cheap stuff, and you're playing to 2X's mind game, I think S Ryu's basically broken. But no one's done it. Damdai's came the closest, but Damdai played Damdai style, so we haven't seen it yet. Same can be said about like S Feilong. I don't think is broken. He's a gimmick character, but losing the Rekka Kyaku, the chicken wing, it's a pretty big. It's significant. So like just losing that, kind of a big
Just being
deal.
able to combo crouch medium kick into Rekkas is kind of ridiculous, but like it's very gimmicky.
Right, like it'll
Still
work
strong,
in
but-
it'll work in an FT1, right?
Yeah. for
So
sure.
like the other thing I thought about is like what's this gonna look like in an FT10 format? So there's characters like SDJ and S Bison, S Feilong that might work in an FT1, but in FT10 they're never gonna work. And like we gotta be realistic. It doesn't mean that they're weak characters because they're like scrub killers. Like S Bison is a scrub killer. Even S Honda, you know, it's a scrub killer. People think that he's very strong because Shogatsu, but like he's not. Like the character is, it's like you make one mistake and you die. You have to play a very particular way because S characters don't follow the same rules as X. That's just, I mean, that's the brutal truth. We're not playing the same game, my dude. But, you know, the game is now 31 years old, so it's whatever. Yeah, so the order I'm putting it, like, if it's left to right, left is stronger. So left to right, top to bottom. So definitively, for me, S Cammy is the absolute worst character in the game. But like, worse plus bad. But at least you got a crouching medium kick, you know. Like, all these bad characters still have stuff. It's just, the good characters is just way too strong. Again, think of FT1 versus FT10 format. Like, no one on this chart is beating Barlog in an FT10. It's just not going to happen.
Okay, I think I'm about as good as I'm gonna be.
All right, save that out as a picture, and then let me Photoshop this together.
Got you.
So I will save mine. Download image. All this Riz tier. Open up Photoshop.
I'm just gonna screen grab this because this is saying like successfully downloaded, but then it's not. So.
That'll work for me. Yeah, we'll make some changes. I'll just edit mine like when we're done talking about it. Yeah, bear with us, guys. First time done anything like this. Normally, like I said, fearless, whatever, but people need to know. So, all right. Wait, where did I save it? Desktop. I mean, apart from the colors so far, I think it looks similar. Hold on, let's. I think it's kind of similar. All right, let's save this out. And then
So then we'll discuss it and then come up with a combined tier list. It'll be like Thomas Jefferson and John Adams.
Yeah, we're about to figure this out after I find out where I save. Oh, it's because I didn't save it. Save it. Right, so tier list.
Yo, Murasaki.
Okay.
Oh, you got the S characters in there.
Yeah, included as characters on mine. Yo, what's up, Murasaki? All right, so your tier list versus mine. Where do we want to start?
Well, we start at the top with obviously Barlog.
Yeah. Okay. So we're in agreement there, right? Despite yeah, actually, so we have the same number of tiers. No, we don't. It's not
No, you
fully
got more.
aligned. Yeah. All right. Whatever. But the order, right? The order. So you got yeah,
So,
Balrog.
yeah, Balrog, and then like it's always the question: is it Sim or is it Chun? Lately in Japan, there's not enough Sim players for people to really like anybody to really grasp how bullshit Sim is in like certain matchups. So I think that it's like seeing that throw is what tipped me over the edge. Because like the only thing that like if Sim had a reversal Inferno, that would be I'd be like S minus, right? But for me, just the ridiculous like so it's not to say we're not talking about like are they or are they dumb, are they easy to play, whatever, like certain things with that go into that, thinking about that. But Sim, if you master Sim and say you're able to get all of like the anti-airs and situational awareness and everything, like Sim has an answer to everything. It's just how well people are able to use his tools. I think he has more tools than Chun in a lot of matches.
All right.
That's why I put him above.
So let's look at it this way, right? Like, actually, it's nice that we have already like a discussion point immediately after Barlog. So the Chun Sim,
Right.
this has been, argued for a bit. Actually, it's always been an old tier list where like Barlog and Chun were the ones where it's like who's better between the two, and now it's like I think from pandemic on people realize, all right, you know what, maybe Balrog is actually in a tier of his own. But usually they used to battle between number 1 and 2 spots, and then Dhalsim was kind of like, like the Shinzui character of the 3. But yeah, I mean, I think if we look at it this way, right, like which character has a better matchup spread, I mean, just at a glance, I think you're right, like Dhalsim does, right? He loses to Balrog pretty bad. Chun does a bit better in that match, But Chun has like an Sagat, almost a split match, and
Ryu.
Guile, Ryu. Like at least between a couple of those, it makes it feel like, well, yeah, maybe Dalsim is better. Because for Dalsim, who is there, right? There's Balrog, Beilong,
Nah.
Asshawk.
Even then, like, you know, you got to get the knockdown first, and like, if there's ways to get in for sure, but like, you gotta take a bunch of chances, take a bunch of damage, and if the sim plays perfect, then there's no way. There's literally no way that Pac is getting in.
I mean, I watched Yakitori make Dalsim look silly, but like I get it, right? I get it because it's kind of like it's the one jump.
Which Dalsim though?
Who was it? I don't know. I gotta look it up. There was an FC10 once. I gotta look it up though.
Yeah. And then I agree because he doesn't have a reversal, but then Chun also doesn't really have a reversal against Hawk either. So.
Well, I think in Europe, isn't that like an unwinnable matchup for Chun?
I don't know. I think I mean, what I've heard is it's 5-5 between. I was actually talking to Inomata about this. Maybe about almost a year ago now. He was talking about how for a while people thought that it was like in Hawk's favor, like 6-4 or something. But then they realized that that's not true, and that it's more like 5-5, 5.5, so even matchup.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm still with you. I think maybe my opinion will be swayed as we continue talking about this, but I can see the argument that Dalsim is better than Chun. I think with Chun, you know what? I think you're right. It's just with Chun, it's just easier to do. It's easier to get a result, but like
for sure,
when we talk about a tier list, it should always be if at the highest level. And it doesn't mean a robot. It doesn't mean because then I hate when that turns into the argument, because then it's like, well, if we play like computers, then Ken is the best because he'll just dragon punch everything, and it's like, all right, calm down. But yeah, I mean, if you think about the highest level, it shouldn't be the learning curve on Dalsim. It takes more effort, so like Chun is better. That's not the conversation. It shouldn't be like, oh well, if it were Fight K players, or if it's like this region or that region.
It's the overall, like, and that's the thing. That's why I don't necessarily believe right now that Dalsim is over Chun, because we don't have enough representation of Dalsim at the moment. But I do think that if you see like in history, if you see like really good Dalsims like Jai, Hakase, like when they're at their top, like, are Chun's beating them like that? Who are they really losing to? Like, they're beating Sagat. Like, some of them are eking out wins against Balrog. So I think it's just, in general, we see Chun winning more right now because she's easier to play, and there's a low threshold of like, oh, okay, I can just do a 3-piece jump in, or I can just get a 3-piece on the ground even, and they're dizzy, and then, or you can have 1/4 of your life left, and you can get a good RNG damage and throw, and you win. Like, you win the round, you win the match. Oh my god! Like, something that wouldn't have been able to be done by any other character. Or you have a full life bar. She gets a jump in, and has supercharge, and then the up kicks at the end. And we've seen it take like what, 80-90% of a life bar.
Yeah.
So like stuff like that is crazy, but it's also not like a very high level of like being able to, I don't know, you see a lot of people who aren't that good can still win with Chun, put it bluntly.
Yeah, I mean, they're also even like in their matchup. And Jupiter Jazz asks why there's no Ken on your tier list.
I don't know, like I think it convolutes it. I want it to be cleaner. Like there's not, who plays Ken? Like Peiko plays Ken. Who else plays Ken?
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yase no
I don't want to say, like, I don't want to look at like the matchups and be like, well, Ken should be here because he beats this person and this person. But then, like, how do you even know?
Right, we haven't
there's
seen
not that. There's only one Ken main. So that's not enough representation.
Yeah. All right, up next, Essagot, which is in the same placement as mine. Obviously very strong character. Kind of deletes almost everyone that's below him for the most part. Yeah, I mean, just looking at all the characters below, he just deletes everybody below him.
All of them.
Except maybe like Bison. No, that's not a full-on delete, but
yeah.
And I guess Fei Long
he
is
should still win
questionable,
that.
but
Fei Long gets bodied by us.
Oh yeah, Fei Long should lose. Actually, I was talking to Muck. Muck mentioned how X Sagat X Fei Long is like a fun, evenish match. Like that's a cool match. He's like, yeah, Sagat is free. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean,
well, we're in agreement there. I mean, he is like, so like among the honest characters, like if you're trying to play like, Ryu, Guile, Ken, I don't know, like Blanca, whatever, he's just gonna run through them.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty bleak. There's not a lot of characters that have a chance against him, but he still loses to Dawson Barlock pretty bad and has like decent match against Chun Bison. So
yeah, Kusa was telling me the other day he thinks that it's in Chun's favor by a little bit.
I want to get that one in the States still gets argued, like who wins it, and the bias that we have is John Choi beating out Nuki, so we're like, oh yeah, well Essagot wins because he beat Nuki. But yeah, in terms of placement, for me, he's after Dalsim, Chun, Balrog. But a lot of tier lists before would have Bison ahead of him. So I actually moved down Bison on mine below Essagot. You put him on a separate tier altogether. I still think.
Yeah, I don't think he's on a separate tier altogether. Like Ryu looked lonely. So, and I like the pluses. I was, indifferent about it, but I think I think Bison's right after Essagot, no matter how you put it.
But you put him on a separate thing altogether, right? Like,
yeah, I'm not so big on like the placement of like the tiers for the character as I was about like who is in what place, and then is there a drop off of what's the word, like, is there a drop off of them winning matches more easily? Like, does Essagot win more matches than Bison? Like, yeah, I think if it comes down to it, he has a lot more like just complete, like, bodies, characters, matchups than Bison does. Because like Bison loses to Chun clean, loses to Dalsim, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of characters that like Guile's like 6'4", right?
Yeah, it's pretty. He has like Bison's weird because he has a couple of matchups that are like they're not free, but then he has matches that are mad free. It's just his play. Like the stuff that he needs to do is kind of dumb.
Oh,
so like
Zangief.
Yeah, like that
was why I put him down there, because I was like, wait, like he loses to a low, like he can lose pretty easily to the low tier, like the lowest tier.
That's true.
That's what made me put him below one, because if you look at Sim, Chun, and Essagot, they don't have matches like that.
Damn, you know what? That's a really good argument. I mean, there's also like the Hanashi Hoi Hoi strat, so like Fei Long can kind of hold him down. Honda to a certain extent can hold down Bison.
6'4",
but yeah, nobody else.
He's got a lot more of like those kind of like, and like people talk about Ken being able to fight Bison too, and like I don't completely disagree with that. I think it's obviously still in Bison's favor, like pretty heavily, but if he gets caught, you got to be a good Bison to be able to, figure out what the Ken wants to do in the next situation. So even Ken, lower tier, is like, oh, well, Ken can fight Bison.
Yeah, I think compared to mine, then like I would have to move him to my A+ tier. I still think it's above Ryu. But yeah, I mean, you can't make a tier that has just one character, right? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
You gotta have minimum 2, otherwise it looks stupid.
Right. I agree.
But yeah, like once we get out of the Kuso tiers, not to say that there aren't any more Kuso characters. I'm gonna skip mine for now, the S Ryu, S Ken, S Hawk. But like, because they're just strong. We don't have enough data to support it, but like, trust me, guys.
Yeah, I mean, with S Hawk, I think we do, because there's been a lot of like really great S Hawk players. Like even outside of Japan, like Kazel. So like, I think S Hawk is more well represented than S Ken and S Ryu.
Yeah, I think they're all broken, but again, 31 years
I mean,
in
look
the
at
game.
them. They're all broken in their own like weird way, which is very like distinct of S characters. Like they have their weird little like gimmicks, idiosyncrasies. Like S Ryu's got unblockable Tatsu, weird like ground Tatsu, Bigfoot that S Ken has too. Invincible DPs all the way up, so you get like crazy zoning from anywhere on the screen. And then S Hawk has like the super, like his sweep. The revolutions on his sweep are way faster than X Hawk.
His normals are just completely buffed. Like he's
completely buffed.
He's kind of like his normals are actually kind of OP between. I mean, sweep, but like low forward, stand, roundhouse are kind of busted.
Jump fierce.
Jump
is
fierce.
Insane. The Sankaku, like the triangle.
Yeah.
That stuff's so many moves.
Illuminati.
And like, I'm pretty sure it stuffs like every anti-air normal, like to an extent. Either that or trades with it.
Yep.
I think that's so much priority. Like, you'll see S Hawks like Yakitori or like Hiroyan just like straight jump like 5 times in a row at Dawson with that, because it's like if you get one of them, you can combo into DP, or you can get the throw. So
I mean, even if it's a Nambo, it stuns. Like usually jump fierce, it's a random tomahawk buster. That's it. You're stunned.
Yep.
And if you don't, press a button and they option select with the Typhoon, you still lost half your life. So yeah, jump fierce is kind of busted. So I understand why you didn't include them on yours. I included it on mine,
it's
but
not the same game.
Yeah. That's why for me it was like a distinct separation between my S and A. It's just they're not playing by the same rules. So but yeah, after Bison we both got Ryu. So yeah, once we get out of Kuso character territory, Ryu, right? Like Ryu's
right. Yeah,
strong.
Ryu's like
best super in the game.
The strongest default, like, bread and butter character. Probably at his like, I mean, in the franchise, was he at his strongest in this game? You think?
Champion Edition, he's strong.
All right, since
since
game, has he ever been strong?
My bad. My brain went back in time. It's easier for me to go back in time than forward in time. Vanilla Street Fighter 4, I think he was like top 3.
Yeah. Okay.
But like that didn't last very long anyway. And I guess now with Street Fighter 6, they buffed him a lot. So like these young kids that play Ryu are doing really well with him. But like, do we count that? You know what I mean?
Because they buffed him in 6, right?
Yeah, but like modern, I don't know if modern games you can make the fearless comparison.
Yeah, no, you can't, because
patching them all the
changed,
time.
Yeah,
like
they change all the time.
It doesn't. It's not the same conversation.
Yeah.
I guess like, all right, after Street Fighter 2 is Street Fighter 3, right? So like Third Strike, he wasn't top tier in that. Street Fighter 4, he was for a little bit, and then that's it. All those other games are like patch games, so it doesn't matter.
True. All right, so we got Rue, and then we got another
Well,
the
sorry, one
newest
more.
discrepancy.
Yeah, sorry, but one more
Okay, go ahead.
about Ryu. Like, winning with Ryu in Japan isn't seen as, oh, that character's cheap. Despite their placement, because for you have him on the same tier as Bison. So when a Bison was his way to victory, like, is there that same level of respect as it would be if it was Ryu, or is it like
Nah,
when Ryu wins, it's kind of like, oh, scrub character? Like, what does that look like out there?
nah. Like in Japan, Ryu's seen. So it's like this. It's a very interesting like dynamic where like it's the way you play the Ryu, right? And so like in certain, it's really interesting because like there's certain characters like Bison where it doesn't really matter how you play him because like there's not too many different ways to play him other than like going for low rush, right? You can do mix ups and stuff, whatever. But like ultimately you're gonna be doing and aiming for the same thing. With Ryu, there's a lot of different ways to play. You see people at bottom tier, people at mid tier, and then like the top levels all playing Ryu, and they all play him completely differently. So Ryu is really, really, really strong in the hands of like I don't want to say idiots, but yeah, he's extremely strong in the hands of idiots. Like because Tatsu's so um hard to deal with. Like if you're walking toward him, just throw out a roundhouse Tatsu in your face and just get clipped by it.
Reset
And you're on
neutral.
the ground, and then the cross up Tatsu, or cross up medium kick, whatever. So when Ryu wins, and it's like a you know those kind of Ryus are going to be knocked out of the tournaments early by better players. And then you see top players get to like the finals with Ryu if they have a team, like if they have a good team composition. Like Tensho, Ryu has been in grand finals of Kake to Go.
Yeah, he's in
Like
grand finals of
2
everything
years.
these days.
Yeah, 2-3 years in a row, or 2 years in a row. So, granted, he had Balrog on his team and Sim and U Vega this time. So, but still, like seeing Sashishi was also in like top 3. So Sashishi, Kawamata, Tensho,
Gucci.
Gucci. The way that those guys play Ryu is very easy to root for because it requires fundamentals. Like his play style at the top level is very like pleasing to the eye. Walk up, sweep, and the carry cancel fierce fireball is super dope to see.
Yeah, it's interesting though, like seeing a character that's that strong, but it's considered respectable. But yeah, I get what you're saying too. Like when I get knocked down as Bip, doesn't matter the skill level of the Ryu. Having to deal with, are they gonna do meaty, low forward, fireball, or overhead into sweep sucks. Because like it doesn't matter the level of the Ryu. You have to hold the 50-50. It's gonna be, make or break.
Yeah, you can get completely blown up by just some stupid Ryu play. Even if that it's coming. Like he's a very strong character, but like there's a massive like different like like a gap of in the ways that people play him. So he can be really good. He can be really clean player. He can be really kind of slow sometimes. Well, I think he's good at the right spot.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say about it is like even when I played at Versus, like losing to the top Ryus didn't make me feel like I think I lost to Gucci 10-0 or something. It was crazy, but I didn't feel like damn, like this player's cheap. And I was just like, this guy's way better than me. And like the character's strong and the matchup is bad, but like I'm not losing to cheap stuff. I'm just getting zoned the hell out. What's up, Darkslane? But that's just how it goes. I still see the character as respectable despite where they are.
Yeah,
like those characters.
Shinku, I do think that Shinku is the best super in the game, though.
Yeah, I put it in. I mean, we could do a super tier list after because Barlog super is the best in the game, and then And
It never
Shingu.
gets used
Yeah.
unless it hits.
All right, up next. So yeah, we do have a discrepancy here. You got DJ above Guile. I got Guile above DJ. Historically, it's always been Guile above DJ, but
Yeah.
DJ has been creeping up. So I kept it
Yeah.
traditional and left DJ where he's at. You moved him up a little. I guess should I start first on this one? And
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, all right. So yeah, DJ. When I think about the characters above, like Chun-Li, Barlog, I feel like Guile just does better against them. But when you flip it to the other side, DJ does better against like Ryu and Honda than Guile would. Actually, I'm not sure how I feel about DJ Ryu, but DJ Honda, of course, and then DJ Vega's messed up. Like DJ Bip, that match sucks. DJ Baylon kind of sucks. DJ everyone else below kind of sucks. So if you weigh out from the top,
Zangief.
well, yeah, Zangief is question mark, but I think when you weigh out the top, maybe Guile's better, like the characters above, but then when you weigh out the below, DJ's better. So I don't know. I'm still kind of conflicted on where he should be, but let me know your thoughts.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, I think that I think Guile's a much better rounded, like more well-rounded character for sure. Like, I think he's the most complete character in the game. Like the way that he was thought out and the way he's like finished. I think we've talked about that before. But like, DJ just, I mean, the ambiguous cross-up into death. I think it's probably the most ambiguous cross-up in the game. Like, I was playing against Colors DJ the other, like 3 weeks ago, and he was literally like, we were playing on the cab and he was telling me like where DJ's cross-up medium kick hits, and he was having me like try to block it, right? And he's pushing it later or he's pushing it earlier and showing what you have to combo with afterwards if you hit it earlier, so that it'll still connect on the other side when you land in time, because certain moves won't combo if you hit it too early on the front side. So if it's not a true cross up,
Right, but were you holding right or left? I need to know. Sorry, go on. I didn't want to cut you off, but I just thought it was funny and on topic.
True, yeah. So if basically the cross up is if you're holding back, right, and it hits front, then you're going to block it in time. So see, in this situation, we're not looking at anything, so it's very, very easy to say just hold back, hold toward. If you're holding toward or the opposite side, so that to block the cross up, he has to hit it late, right? So certain moves, normals only combo after. So let me say it again. If you hit the front, means you're hitting early. So a lot of times you'll land and you'll be throwable because nothing is going to connect in time
Because you hit them
from
early.
the early hit on the front side. So on the back side, DJ will land and you have to hit a certain move, like a crouch light, in order to be able to connect it to machine gun upper and have it dizzy. So Colors was trying to tell me where to block and how to figure out what he was gonna do when he was gonna hit the button, and you can't see it. You just can't see it. He was telling me when he was gonna hit it, telling me where to where you see it hit, and I'm like, bro, you can't see that. There's no way that you can see that. So, I think that that's the thing for me that puts DJ. Why I put DJ above him? Just because you get one cross up and game's over, or you get a jump in. Like if you get a 3-piece jump in, dizzy.
Yeah, that's true too. I think
Guile has that, also, but the jumps are different, and it takes a lot more for Guile to read a fireball like that than for DJ to be like, oh, I'm gonna jump.
Well, DJ's jump arc is the anti-fireball. It's like the best jump in on fireballs like ever. But It's funny that you mentioned the cross up, and like even when you can see it coming, it's just so hard to block because you can't. It's not reactable, right? Like, are they gonna do an early jump medium kick or a deep jump medium kick, and then which side am I gonna guard? I remember talking to Murasaki about it, and we were talking about like Vega, Guile, and I was like, hey, when you fight Guile and they go for a cross up light kick, like I know that if they press it early or if they press it late, it's blocking one way or the other. But like I don't play the game enough where I can keep up with that. Like I can't just see that in the moment. And I was asking him, I'm like, can you see that? Like, do you know which way to guard? He's like, no, it's not reactable. You just got to pick a side.
Right.
So,
Or, with Ken, throw out a reversal. Try and get something out. I'd rather go down like, fighting than just trying to be like, oh, which side is it? Because basically what you're doing is like, if you're picking a side, then you might as well try and put the input in, from that side.
well, here's the thing though with Ken. If you do a Shoryu, it almost never autocorrects, and DJ gets a knockdown again and gets the same setup. So like you're taking damage and hoping that like they mess up the timing. The other thing that's funny is so CVS 2
depends on the quality of the can.
Yeah, so that was the next thing I was gonna bring up. So in CVS 2, there's this thing with Blanca where he does the so he could do a sweep or some type of a knockdown, and then he goes to he does the direct lightning super. It's basically his punch super. It's like the one hitter, so it's not a ground shave. And depending on the timing that they do it, it can be a cross up. So you have to decide, am I gonna hold back or toward, right? Or am I gonna hold right or left? And but when I fight strong Blanca players, like Japanese Blancas or whatever, I hold toward, or I just try to get a feel for, well, what are they really trying to fake me out? Because you can't react, you just got to pick a side. And normally they have the cross up timing down, so I just hold toward. Unless like I think they're trying to outsmart me, then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna hold back. But like against American players, I always hold back because I know that they don't have the timing down on the cross up. Right. So it's funny, right? Like the skill of your opponent changes the way that you deal with a 50-50. And like if I'm fighting a top DJ and I have a read on him, then maybe I can guard the cross up. But if I'm fighting a DJ that's like not top tier and their timing is not great, like they meant to make it ambiguous where it's supposed to be a real cross up, but they messed up the time, made it a fake cross up. I thought it was going to be a real cross up, and now I got hit. So that happens a lot.
The best ones, they don't even know themselves which side is going to hit.
Which means that character's OP. So
yeah, exactly. So that's the thing, you get, and there's certain things like that. So I think that Guile is like, I don't know. I think Guile is like, the most like stable character in the game. But I just think that DJ has like that crazy like one hit. He's scarier than Guile. Like to me, DJ's scarier than Guile. Guile's like, I know what Guile wants to do. I know how to play him. Like I know from this point he can jump from here, get a 3-piece dizzy, or he can't jump from here and kill me. DJ, it's like, bro, you get sweeped if you're like you get slid, right? And that's the thing, he can move forward while holding down back.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
With the slide, like there are a few characters in this game that have slides: Dawson, Barlog, DJ, Bip, technically Blanca, but like, yeah, DJ slide is,
Blanca got to hold forward, down forward. That's mean, bro.
An offensive slide. I'm super conflicted. If I could have my way, I would just put both of their tiles on top of each other, so DJ and Guile just like some like those pogs that like those hologram pogs.
I feel like it comes down to like philosophy and preference. Like I don't think either one of them is better than the other. I don't know. I think that DJ just has more like raw, like I can just do one thing and kill you.
Yeah.
Guy's got to he's got to build something. He's got to paint a picture. You got to do something with his round,
Yeah. So. That's I'm definitely gonna give this one more thought, but
yeah, think about it.
But yeah, I mean, I agree. Like the one thing that I definitely agree is Guile is the most complete character of Street Fighter 2. Like all of his buttons are good. They have some type of a function. He has back sobot, forward sobot, step kick, crouch fierce. He's a zoner. He has a cross up. He has cancelable, links, and a decent super. Like, this character is the most complete character in all of Street Fighter 2. So,
do not disagree.
All right, then, even though we have the same order, put them on different tiers. We have Honda up next. So you put Honda down. For me, he still hangs out with the Ryu Gal tier. And again, same thought process as before. The characters above he loses to, but the characters below he kind of like beats them up pretty bad. Except Ken. I guess Ken is an anomaly. Ken. So shoot. It's weird, right? Like, if you take Ken out of this tier list, then yeah, Honda should be in my A tier. But because Ken is there, Ken brings him down. Like on yours. Yeah.
I think that, like, I don't know, like, just the way that I have it laid out, I do think that Honda's like B and not B plus, just because, like, he doesn't have a fireball, but then he also beats up every character that doesn't have a fireball, right? So he's the top of, like, the bottom feeders.
I mean, if he's
king bottom feeder fish. Like, he just,
Well, actually, here I got something for you, and I know this match sucks, right? But Balrog Honda, like, we know it sucks. I've seen Kusamundo lose so many times going for a close stand fierce anti-air and it gets grabbed by super. Like, I've seen it more times than I can count. But, like, Honda still has a shot against Balrog, and that's more than a lot of other characters in the game. He has the same against Bison and the same against Dhalsim to a certain extent. So, like,
yeah,
I don't know, man.
So being able to do that, I think that maybe Ken doesn't bring him down as much as we would think. I think he's in the right place, like, at least in comparison to the other characters.
Yeah, I mean, I still think he's after DJ Gal, but being in his own block, I'm not quite there yet. But it also depends on, like, I also factored in all the S characters into my stuff too. So I think if we take out some of the S characters, but yeah. Any other thoughts on Japan, Honda? What's going on?
I mean, like, Balrog, he can fight Balrog. That's what we say. But, like, not. He's still losing, but there's, like, a chance. If you don't have anything, if you got, like, you got a Dhalsim and you got, like, a Ryu and you got a Fei Long and then you got a Honda, you're probably putting the Honda up to fight Balrog.
Yeah.
Even if you got an Esagai, you're probably putting up the Honda.
I feel like this character is one of the few that's not moved anywhere on the tier list in 3 decades. He's kind of been here the whole time, more or less, and like, that's it. He's kind of peaked as a character. All right,
kind of like the struggle life, like, people are just like, what you're getting into, and you whine and complain about the fireballs, but then you also get to, like, whoop, like, the other half of the cast. So
yeah, I mean, I think Honda's a pretty, and I don't want to say this to, like, offend Honda users, but I think a pretty one-dimensional character. Like, yeah, there's tech as far as how to throw out hands and things like that, but his gameplay is pretty simple. When your enemy is jumping, you headbutt. When they're walking toward, you headbutt. When they're holding down back, you hands. When you get them in the corner, you oicho and negative edge. So, like, he's a pretty straightforward, very strong character. Easy to use, strong character that will get you into, top 8s of tournaments. No problem. Like, I think if Damdai used Honda, he could get top 8 at any US tournament.
I would love to see Damdai play Honda.
He played Honda against me once in a tournament. I got annoyed. He beat my BIP. I went Ryu. I was like, screw that. Like, in grand finals of a tournament, he was trolling me because it was an FT4. So, you know, I don't know why Damned I always have these FT4 grand finals, but he used Honda one game. I don't know if I also used Honda against him, but I was like, yo, you're stupid. But yeah, if he used Honda, I think he could beat up a lot of people. Well, just because the character is so simple. Like, straightforward character. Anyway, that's a lot about Honda. Fei Long.
Fei Long.
Hey,
So,
same follow-up as me.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, Fei Long, I mean, like we said, steadily moving up the tier list for a while. Like, I play with Hanashi every week, and I watch him just kind of like tear through top tier characters and players. Top tier players playing top tier characters. And he's a top tier player, but he's not a top tier player who uses a top tier character.
Yeah.
But he's still like it's crazy. Like Fei Long gets a good jump in, game over for like fireball throwers. He's got ways to get in. He's got the Reku chicken wing. And then Rekas are like you can make them safe on block on a ton of characters. He's got frame traps. His super is one of the most, I think it's the most invincible super in the game. He charges his super extremely quick.
Actually, he charged a super off each Rekka that he does.
Right, not just the 3, like every
So
one.
if he does a combo, like if he starts around with a 7-8 combo, he pretty much has meter right after that.
Yep.
Like he just needs to do like 1 more, 2 more block string, like a block string, and that's it. Yeah, Fei Long. So Fei Long and so the big changes to my tier list were moving Essagat up a little bit, moving Bison down essentially, and then moving Fei Long up because like it's been a while that I kept Fei Long in the same tier as Bip and Ken, and that's not really where he belongs. He still had some bad matchups, like DJ can zone him out, Dawson can zone him out. You know, there's a lot of characters that can zone out, but when I think about like what makes a character good in this game, it's how many turns do they get, or how many, you know, opportunities do you get against that character. So an example like Essagat, he doesn't give you a lot of opportunities, which means he's always in control, thus he's strong. Fei Long, like, it's not that he's always in control, but he gets a lot of turns. Like he gets to go, and then he gets to go again, and he gets to go again.
Bison.
Yes.
What I've been saying for the past like 2 years. And then, you know, and then we got an American player that's, you know, coming up and like making Fei Long look stronger too. The shot of zombie damage.
Yeah. Well, I made this list before he won those tournaments, so I'm just saying.
Same.
I got back from Japan,
today,
you know, I was on the flight back from Japan. I was like, you know what, people need after chatting with Hanashi and seeing it too, I was like, you know what, man, I think it's time to make the definitive tier list and put Fei Long where he needs to be, because like this character wins stuff and he does good in matchups that were considered bad matchups. He also locks down a lot of like if you think about against Cammy, she can't do a DP on Wake Up, Fei Long, or sorry, Zangief, T-Hawk. So many characters that legit have to hold enough. Like usually you try to checkmate someone with like a chip super, but he gets that all the time, right? Like you have to take super chip essentially in the middle of a round without a super that you just gotta hold, and if you press something, like you're gonna wish that you didn't. And
and after that you can do flame kick or you can do Rekka again, and it's pretty safe. Or you can do, you know, Rekka chicken wing again, and you're trying to see it and block it from point blank range, which is crazy. And a lot of times, even if it's like a DP or something, it can go underneath the chicken wing, and then he can walk. His walk speed's really, really fast.
Yep. Stand fierce,
walk
fierce,
up,
fierce,
fierce, Rekka. Yeah. So.
All
right.
Well, I'll just add one other thing that changed, like in my experience fighting Japanese players over the years, between like the first time and now. And zombie damage also does this, which I think is cool. But Like, so Fei Long, firstly, oh yeah, he loses because like he can't get over fireballs. He jumps, he gets swept. But like Fei Long's now for movement, for counterplay, they're using more the Rekukyaku. So like I would do, let's say, cross up, short, they block it, and then I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna wait here. Then they do his Shienkaku, the flame kick, and they just double knee it, free, right? But nowadays, when you try to bait something like that out, it just goes straight into their chicken wing, and now you lose your mix up because you can't punish that. You can't. All you got to do is back jump. Same thing with safe jump. So you safe jump, try to throw a little bit of a delay in there to, bait them to do a negative edge or a hold down back flame kick, like something that they think is safe, and you punish it. But over the years, more and more Fei Longs opted out of that decision, and they're like, all right, well, if you're giving me a gap, I'm just gonna throw this out. Now it's my turn. So I feel like that's one change that I've been seeing more and more over the years that's impacted a lot of how the matchups go. Because before it's like, yeah, just spam DP, and now I'll be lucky if I bait a Fei Long into doing a DP. Like when I was fighting Hanashi out there, I'm like, man. So now I got to do preemptive stand roundhouse that tags a startup of the Rekukyaku. But it's like, that's risky because now if he does the DP, it beats my roundhouse and now I'm dead. So it's, yeah,
I think that's what it is
changed
too.
a lot.
It's the fact that like Fei Long players have been able to, they've been able to increase their, man, I'm thinking about it completely in Japanese. Like they've been able to increase their options of their Oki and like their mix-ups. So like it makes you, if you have to like think about what Fei Long wants to do in a situation, normally you don't, you just block, right? You know what they're going to do, so you block it and then try and find like a gap in there, either in the player's execution or you try and find a gap in Fei Long's, moves in his command list that he's just going to go all the way down. This doesn't work, do that, do this. Oh, I got punished. All right, let me go to this. Very much like rush down character, but their options have increased. So now, I see Hanashi, I watched him do it like a couple days ago against Kawamata. When he jumps in, he'll jump in early on like safe jump timing. So it's not a safe jump. I guess it is more of a safe jump, but it's early so he can get thrown. But instead of being thrown, you see Ryu's stand fierce or whatever button he's using to throw.
Yeah, I
Reku,
already know where you're going.
Out,
Yep, yeah, I got you.
Instant, as soon as he lands, he does instant Reku, and then Kawamata eats like the entire 7-hit combo in the corner. And it's just like, and then Kawamata's like, geez, man, like, what the hell do I do here?
It's essentially like a fake meaty where you make them think that they messed up their safe jump timing. It's like, oh shoot, I messed up, and now you got the upper hand that's actually set up. So like Viper does that with his Hawk, where he does intentionally a very early stand jab, so that the DP definitely comes out and definitely whiffs, so that he can get a punish. And now he's in your head. It's like, well, like, did he mess up, or should I just not shore you? So he will intentionally fake a meaty. So that's, Hanashi faking the meaty. Let me intentionally miss my safe jump, give you that false sense of security, and then punish you for it, for doing the right thing.
Exactly. And he's got it against Guile too. Like, it's more of a, like, you can make Guile guard the safe jump, and then you go directly into Reku, and he has to delay his reversal throw attempt or his anti-air or whatever he's going to do. It's really weird. I don't even know how to fully explain it, but I've seen Kotaka and Kaneko get hit by it, and it's just like, whiff punishing crouch medium with Rekkas is doable. And then corner carry. If it was like, it's like, it reminds me of like Street Fighter 6 Ken in like the beginning when he just one read and he gets the corner carry and like meter build, and so. Anyways, moving on to Bip. We got Bip at the same place.
Yeah, basically. He's Mario. He's just, all his stats are in the middle. He can win, he can lose. He's
balance.
Yeah. The true balanced character of the game.
Floaty jump. Yeah. But he's got crazy mix-ups. Got crazy cross up.
He's honest,
Um,
but
he's
except
good,
jump
man. I
medium
mean,
punch. Is
except
busted.
yeah, except jump medium punch going over to the other side and then throwing on empty
Yeah.
jump. You have to punish it out of the air, stuff like that, and then also like double knee and then getting the throw after it's blocked.
Nah, that's just scrub tactics. But you know, sometimes like you have to do it, right? Like you can't go for
Yeah.
like a short or a medium double knee. You have to go for roundhouse. Because if it tags the startup of something or the startup of Hudo, now you get a knockdown. But like if you do a different type of double knee, like they're fireballs and it hit you. So sometimes you're throwing that out in anticipation that they're gonna press something. So like when they guard, it's like, well, I have no choice. I gotta go for a throw now. So that's why that works. It's not like, I mean, that's why smart players when they do it, that's why it would work. When others, we can move on. We can move on.
Yeah.
Ken,
I
got him in the
like
same
it, yeah,
spot.
man. Yeah, Ken's like, low tier, but like, he makes stuff happen. Like comeback factor is massive. There's not like a ton of active top tier Ken players anymore.
There's this guy that
but
uses
there-
the green
there's-
color though. I see him at versus every
But
week.
there's people that like there's older players who have continued to still play at like a similar level, like Aniken Matsune, like Shu Kamura, and like Shigaken from Kansai.
There's Choshu.
Choshu, of course. Yeah, Choshu.
And don't count out my boy Dark Slane though.
Oh yeah, we got Dark Slane representing Spain.
Yeah, we got crossed.
Don Yan.
Yeah, Don
from
Yan.
France got crossed in the U.S.
I like that there's a lot of Ken
so-
players, and there's a lot of pocket Ken users, which is like that's cool, I guess. Everybody's got a pocket Ken.
Everybody wants to be a Ken
Yeah.
player, but nobody wants to put in the work of being good at playing Ken, because it's ridiculous. It's a terrible, depressing, like angering, but also extremely like fulfilling when you win road to be on, because it's just there's a lot of stuff that you just lose because you pick the wrong character at the select screen. So you got to work hard at it, and that's the other thing. There are Kens who just like do random, like do DP 3-4 times in a row, or just do random roundhouse Tatsu and just jump around the screen, because he's still strong, because it's scary because he has so much power to be able to like if you don't knock him out of the air when he jumps in, like you're eating either a knee bash mix up or you're getting DP'd or whatever. But his mix up is scary. So.
I would say like Aniken, back in the day, Aniken was like up there for me, man. Like watching that old footage that he recently posted.
Yeah, I think Aniken's still, he's obviously still one of the best Ken players to ever play the game.
Yeah, but like back then, man, he made that character look mad good. Like it's scary fighting. It's like, do I press a button or not? But yeah, I think Ken is in the right spot.
Matsune doing all the combo videos, and the flashy top spin and crazy
micro step combos.
Yep. So we got style over here in this tier. So moving on, we got Exagot, just a much weaker version. Yeah, we got him in the same place too. Just a much weaker version of his S counterpart.
His variant.
Yep. Unfortunate. I wish they would have made him a better character.
Yeah, he just kind of
sucks. He still beats Ken, who was above him, but he just doesn't do very well. Yeah. Everything just feels like it's like, damn, why'd you do that?
Yeah, he's just
Why'd you make him have that?
Just looks sluggish, and the 5-hit uppercut is not really a buff, and his super is garbage. So like,
I've seen his DPs get sweeped a bunch.
Yeah, I mean, same with Exagot too.
Terrible.
So, but I mean, I will say that watching people like Yaya and Wada, it makes you think, wait, this character's good. But like, but you'll see them getting hit by. You'll see them get hit by like random stuff, and it's like, yeah, that's kind of dumb. Like,
Yeah, and then it comes to the point where like you'll see them like they win because of how they like present their confidence in the character and in themselves as a player. But then you see, and you'll be like, "Yo, there's no way Yaya will lose like this," because he's Yaya, right? But then you're like, "Wait, but I'm asking way too much because the character he's using and like the character that he's fighting against, like, there's no way he should win this." And then when he loses, it's like, "Oh, that's right. He can lose, because it's the character. If he was using a, high tier, then probably not. But, I mean, he beat Orochun at Texas Showdown, right?
well, he used
Free play.
was it Gal that he used? No, yeah, he beat him with
No,
Sagat.
he beat him with Sagat, yeah.
And then
like,
in the run back, he used Gal for Sonic Mat. He's like, okay, I'll do it for you, and then he got washed. Which is like, that made no sense.
dude, but I mean, he beat Orochun like
Yeah.
with Sagat. That's in a
Yeah,
tournament.
that's
That's
nuts,
crazy.
dude. That might
That's
be
insane.
That's one of the best recorded matches of
For sure.
Yaya, like in a tournament. Like that's a cool win.
Walk up DP, like stutter step, just delay, and then DP, like crazy.
And
Yaya is like, he's a player for the history books for sure.
hey, you know the comment that Dago made about Yaya, right? He said something like Yaya's fireball was so good that like he would not throw a fireball when I jumped. So like he made the fireball basically look OP. Like it was like, he kept throwing fireballs, but only when I jumped is when he wouldn't, and then he would uppercut. So yeah.
I played against Yaya like a lot back in like before the pandemic actually. He used to invite me out to Kawasaki to play in his neighborhood, and I was like leveling up on the Sagat matchup, and he would play Ken with me too. But like, yeah, it's just I wasn't as good at that time, and it was just like it felt impossible. He can like super run reaction. Like he's one of the best players in this game for sure.
Yeah, and he could do it with multiple characters. Also, quick shout outs to Matsukio and Spinal Blood.
Oh, yeah, Matsukio. Yeah. Sagat players.
Spinal Blood, and of course Muck, even though he plays both, but I can't not say his name because then I'm not trying to get murked. So, but
he's done his time playing XCI. Like he can. There's matches where it's like feast or famine. Like you if you're playing XCI in US tournaments, that's hard, man. It's not like sad because you gotta play against a bunch of like soul characters, and then it's like, well, why don't I just play the stronger version of the character I already like playing, right? That's the only way that's really going to be competitive against certain matchups. Yeah. So it's like being torn between two places, because it's not like he's completely different style of play. It's just that he's much stronger.
Yeah, they needed one that was in between. We have another discrepancy coming up. We have another discrepancy.
Oh, yeah.
I put Zangief
next. Okay.
But you put Blanca.
I put Blanca. Yeah.
Well, why?
Huh?
Because Blanca loses to like a lot of characters. At least Zangief can fight Bison, DJ to a certain extent. Bip. Well, actually, Blanca Bip is also pretty bad.
Right. I think that was why. Well, Guile is like 5'5". Ken is 5'5". Loses to Ryu. I don't know. I just don't think Zangief's that good.
I think Zangief. Well, but Zangief has good match against like Ryu, Bison. I think I'm repeating myself now.
Ken.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. I guess I just haven't like fleshed out the very bottom of the bottom. That much. So yeah, you're right.
No, but I mean, like, even though Blanca beats Zangief, it's not like that straightforward. It's actually not. Like, it's not. Oh yeah, just do random ball every now and then. It's a pretty like one mistake, you're gonna lose half your life, and that's the case with Zangief against a lot of characters. I think he's bottom tier, but he's not like Blanca, Cammy, Hawk bottom tier because.
Right.
he's still a good team character tournament. He can beat out those Bips. He can beat out those, DJs even. He'll beat out the Bisons, Shotos. Like, he's got... If he gets a lucky knockdown against Dalsim, that's it. Stand, jab, screw all day, right? Like, you can't count him out. I think that's a lot more than Blanca, in my opinion.
This is why the Congress needs checks and balances of different executive branches, because here I was shirking my duty and didn't think properly about the low tier, and then the legislative branch was like, yeah, you can't. Of 2X was like, well, you have to think about the matches, and Zangief beats high tier characters, so Zangief should obviously be higher than Blanca. And I'm like, very well.
Yeah, we got the scroll out. Right. We got the pen with the ink, the quill rather with the
good O chap.
So yeah, I mean, Zangief.
Hold these 2X truths to be self-evident. That Zangief is higher than Blanca.
And he's got a fab. He's got a fab, bro. He has a super that works. Like,
that's true. He's got the fab.
Oh, he's yeah. All right, at least that's one time where you're more in agreement with my decision. But yeah, I've been agreeing with you, up until this point. Like,
I think you're right. Yeah.
Gal DJ I'm still, but
I just stop at Ken. I'm like, who do I have to beat, like, above me, and then I just kind of forget about everybody else. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, Blanca Ken is about even. So, but I'll put Blanca a bit lower. I think Blanca has too many struggle matches. So for me, he's on his own tier. Like, the bottom tiers. Blanca, Cammy, Hawk. And people will be like, what? Cammy's not the worst character in the game. It's T-Hawk, but I thought T-Hawk was top tier. It's like, nah. Because, like, T-Hawk loses to basically everybody. He can win, right? Like, all low tiers can win. Blanca can win stuff, and Cammy and T-Hawk, they can win. But, man, it's like T-Hawk is a true struggle character. Yeah.
He shouldn't.
Yeah, he shouldn't. Like realistically, because I remember a few years back, pre-pandemic, it's like, oh yeah, well, Ryu Hawk, like, it's a good match because Hawk has all these option selects, and I was like, but Hawk should never get in. Like, he actually should not be able to get in because Fireball DP is that good. Condor Dive is not gonna get you in. Like, T-Hawk should not get in that match. So,
well, I think I don't know. You want to bring up the combined tier list and start hammering it out.
Yeah, let's let me do that. Forgot where I had it. Was it this one? Yeah. Okay. Something like that. All right, so I'll remove the S characters from mine.
Yeah, let's get rid of the S characters. Just for the sake of keeping it like simple, because we know they're on their own tier and they're above A. So yeah, the ones that matter.
So
Captain Planet.
Yeah, get out.
Wind.
Wait, how do you remove them? What do I do? Do I just delete it?
Just get rid of them manually, I guess.
Delete row. Okay. Oh.
Or row. Yeah.
Yeah, so I deleted the bottom row. Oh, I should have just threw all the S characters in that row and then delete them. All right.
Sure. Control Z.
You can't Control Z on here. No, sorry. I tried to, like a dummy. All right, here, let me do this. Let me move.
I think we gotta go S and then do A+. I don't think we can have S+.
Nah, here, let me just make my... I'm just gonna delete the characters that we don't need. Okay, I think that's good. All right, let's delete the row. All right, so it's S, and then it goes to A, and then what?
S, I forgot and then A+.
I gotta delete this guy. Here, let's just... Something like that.
Get out of here, Red Goki.
Yeah. All right. Should S what and then what?
S and then A+.
Okay.
And then A.
And then B, C, D, E. Oh.
Yeah. B. I think B, C, D, E is fine. I think that's better.
Yeah.
The plus is kind of. I think the only plus that's really necessary is the A plus.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Something like that. And zoom in a bit. All right. So
Great inflation.
let's see here. Let me just throw them kind of how I would have had it first.
Yep.
Missing something here. Oh, kind of like no. So I think this is normally how I would have had it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we agreed that this character should go here. So Dalsum over Chun.
Yeah. For now. Yeah, I think that's where the. Yeah. I don't think there's anybody in Japan who would be like Chun's stronger than Dalsum.
So,
Like I don't think that'd be a conversation you could really have.
so I think for you it looks more like that, right?
You can keep Bison up in A plus. I think he's at the bottom of A plus because like he's a different type of strong than Ryu, Guile, and DJ.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he's good there.
We're making progress.
Yeah.
We're making progress here.
And then
Poor
yeah, I
Bip.
guess it's it's I don't know, Guile and DJ though.
Can I put them like on top of each other? I'm just gonna
I think
Photoshop
I
them.
think we gotta make a decision. What do you think?
No, I'm just gonna.
I'm completely fine either way.
No, I'm gonna Photoshop it where I just have like a diagonal line that cuts between the two. I don't know, man. I agree. DJ is a lot more threatening. Just he can one touch way easier. Let me look at.
Plus, yeah, okay, yeah. Plus, then also like Honda's like it's like a 9-1. Fei Long's like an 8-2. Bip's like what 7.5.
Yeah,
Vega told me.
Yeah.
He fights Balrog better than Guile does. He's got a cross up on him. He can.
Well, DJ, you mean, right?
Yeah. DJ. He bodies Exagot, bodies Ken.
Okay.
Like 8-2 on Blanca.
Yeah, I guess when your matchups are that lopsided. But then again, like when we look at the characters above, like does that balance it out? Like the fact that like Guile can go even with Chun, does that balance it out? Just that one, it doesn't, right?
Because Guile loses so bad to Sim and Estegat that it's just like, like DJ does a little better.
Yeah.
A little better.
Okay. No, I'm sold.
And then yeah, I think just personally, like I think that Guile, I don't think Guile has like that the comeback factor, like the sonus, like the one touch, the TOD, like cross up. That's my explanation.
Yeah, the Kasonus.
I don't think he's a better character, but I think he's a higher tier.
Okay. No, I think when we weigh out the whole, yeah, DJ's gonna be better. He edges it out.
All right, and then Honda, Fei. I think that's good. Down on B. Yeah, like I think Fei Long. Yeah, I think he's earned his place at B. Like I would say he's a B minus, but there's no B minus, so he's in that in between.
Well,
in between space.
I think eventually he's gonna be here, like in between these two. I think because right now, right, like even in Japan, a lot of those Fei Longs, like they know stuff, but they're doing things. It's not all like reactionary, but there's gonna come a point where like enough reps are put in and stuff is gonna be more reactionary on top of just the craziness.
Yeah.
And Fei Long's in it.
She was telling me he thinks that Ryu and Fei Long is like close to even.
Yeah. He said the same about Bip. He said it's 5-5. So yeah. I think eventually it's gonna go like this, and then it's gonna go like that. Probably is what it looks like. But for now, yeah.
I don't know. I think Honda just deletes so many of the non-fireball characters. Like, just no chance, you know.
Yeah.
But that's a conversation for another day. So, yeah, Fei Long and then Bip in his own tier. I don't know. Yeah, because he's got better matchups than Ken does. Ken's only
He's
winning
wild.
match.
He's just a wild card. He can beat
Yeah.
everybody in the game. Like,
Yeah.
his matchup chart is like a lot of 6-4s basically. So, or 4-6, whatever. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, true.
He's a bit of an anomaly. We'll leave him solo.
Ken's only winning matchup is Honda, so like, you know, his not inarguably only like favorable matchup more than like a 5.5 is Honda. So Ken's good there in my opinion. I think he could move up to C soon.
Well, it's up to you, player.
I'm gonna try and do my part to get him up there.
Damn, poor Sagat gonna be by himself one day.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Ken is as bad as Sagat. So I don't know. I think he could go C behind Bip, like knowing that knowing that Vega is like obviously the C. I say put Ken up in C just because I'm saying it, because I'm gonna get him there even if he's not there yet.
Well, all right, here's the deal, right? Like, this match, so against S characters, like, there's always hope, right? Because you have a Shoryu and an E-Bash. Like, there's hope.
Yeah.
It's still,
There's
but
hope.
it's Barlog.
Here, watch the FT5 of the Open Mind. I beat him 5-2.
Oh, my bad. We got to put him here. There.
You gotta
Tier
put him
list
in
is
A.
done
You
now.
gotta put him in A, bro. There you go.
Tier list is done.
Not that I've lost to him in tournaments or anything.
Yeah, I think maybe Ken. It's just Ken requires a lot of effort. Like,
you can fight a little bit of S. Yeah, you can fight a little bit of S. He's got a chance against Bison. So I think that's enough to put him up in C. Yeah.
yeah. All right, so I'm not by myself no
I
more.
won't make you regret that.
Yeah, that's a lot. You know, moving up one tier list because of one player. That's a lot. That's a lot on your shoulders. I should aim for this B, yo. But I think
just me.
I think Bip is where he's at.
You got Ken players out here busting their asses. Honey Ken's like streaming like every day. Matsun's still doing, combo videos, finding brand new tech. Like, I'm out here, I'm at Versus every single Tuesday.
But
holding down captain spot.
Well, the thing about Ken is, so Guile is the most polished character, the most complete character, but Ken is the most technical character. I mean, the fact that like the combos from hell, you can do combos where half your body is cut off the screen, and you got reversal attack, Tatsu, the Dark Lane combos, and he has like,
one short repa,
top spin, one short. I mean, you can't count out one short repa. I think he's the most technical, like easily the most. He has a post KO infinite. Like,
cross up 5-piece into like it feels like a Blaze Blue combo almost, like on Fei Long.
I think he's just the most technical character in the game. He's got, even if it's not all in-game meta, it's just the character is unique in that sense.
I would never have been able to play this game for as long as I have and as like hard and seriously as I have if it weren't for like the way Ken has to be played. It's kind of all or nothing. Like I dedicate way too much time to this game, just in like a time management type of thing. But it's because Ken's so interesting, and the amount of difficulty that it takes. Like if I tried to play Ryu my whole life, and that's not a slight to Ryu players, but for me it wouldn't.
It's not as fulfilling. It doesn't fill your cup.
I never would have been able to play this game for this long if I just played Ryu. So.
That's how I feel about Ken in 0-3. Like, I could go with an easier character, but that struggle just feels, I don't know, it's cool when you could do something dope, and but the character's still ass.
For sure. We got Sagat at D. Good. He's good there. He can beat some people, but not very many. And then E. Zangief, Blanca, Hawk, Cammy.
Hey, maybe Zangief should be here?
You could put
Yeah, because he shouldn't be
you could
with.
put game. Yeah, you could put Geef in D.
Yeah, he shouldn't be with the bottom three. Like these guys don't really have winning matchups. And
Yeah.
my bad, T-Hawk should be there. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is it. This is
Looks good to me.
the true
just in
2025 tier list. Yep.
The clock has struck 4 a.m. here in Tokyo, Japan, so I will have to be on my way. But I think we got done what we came to do.
All right, I'll post this up in a little. I'll close it out. My final thoughts. You have a good day, night, whatever.
Yeah. Everybody take it easy. Thanks for watching. If you have any complaints, throw stones at Sellotape.
Later, man.
And yep, see you guys later.
Peace.
Peace.
All right, so yeah, I think this is a good spot for the like the 2025 tier list discussed between an American and Japanese player. We didn't have a full-on committee, but I thought this was pretty fair. If you know, I'm always happy to have. No, I'm not always happy to have discussions about the tier list. I think talking about tier list is dumb. When it's like, here's my tier list, and I don't want to, you know, that's it. Just deal with it. But take us here. I can move Zangief to A if you want to troll him real quick. No, I'll do that later. But yeah, I think it's important for people to understand at the end of the day, it's still up to the player. Like, I don't go into tournaments feeling like, oh, I gotta fight a T-Hawk, that's free. I gotta fight a Cammy, that's free. Blanca's free. In fact, actually, as Bip, Blanca is a losing match. Cammy, Bip beats her on paper, so that's fine. And then Hawk is a volatile match. You win until you don't. Like, it becomes 10-0 if you're no longer... You're either winning or it's 10-0. There's no in between. There's no, like... So anyway... Yeah, like, regardless of what character you use, it shouldn't impact, like, what a tournament result might be. Top tier is just going to keep winning. That's just the name of the game, but it doesn't mean that, like, the characters that are below are not good. It just means that the characters that are above them are much stronger. Like, they have a lot more tools available. So, yeah, maybe this will spark discussion. Big changes being... So from the top, just to summarize, Barlog is where he needs to be. Dhalsim Chun-Li swapping, I think that's fair. Esagat Bison swapping, that's fair. So normally it's been like Chun, Dhalsim, Bison, Esagat, but a little bit of changes there, but I think they're justified. Ryu, DJ, Gal, normally it was Ryu, Gal, DJ, but I agree with putting DJ above Gal. It is a lot more threatening, and like Gal having a better matchup against Chun-Li than DJ doesn't warrant swapping them around. DJ's matchup chart overall is just much better. So like if you have A2s in your matchup chart, then DJ's better. Like I can't argue with that. Gal doesn't beat anybody 8-2, so can't argue that. And then Honda would be right after Gal. So in this case, Honda Fei. So I like that. You know, Fei Long, I think, is going to continue climbing the ranks. First, getting better than Honda, and then moving into that Ryu DJ Gal tier. Bip is the absolute middle tier of this game. Like, separate from everyone else, but Marcus is now challenging himself to, you know, move up to that. So I think that's fair. Those are some honest characters. So I think I like where that is. Sagat just doesn't have enough tools. Fireball DP is not enough. The character just struggles against above and below. Like I don't think there's any match where it's like, yeah, Sagat takes that clean, except maybe like T-Hawk. I don't know how Sagat Cammy is. I mean, maybe he wins, but nothing's free for him. You know, Sagat is much better, obviously. And then Blanca, Cammy, T-Hawk. They're forever going to be the bottom three. I think people used to put Cammy as the bottom, and then a few years back, I was like, you know what? She's not really the bottom tier. It's T-Hawk. So the option selects just aren't enough when you can't get in against characters. His tool set is kind of light. But if I had a tournament again, and I had to fight AFO or Banshee Bot or whomever, I don't want to fight a Blanca. Even if I was using Ryu, I don't want to fight a Blanca. So are there any good resources to get into the game? Yes. Watch as much footage as you can. Because that's what's going to help you level up. And watch the right footage. Like, watch tournament footage. In particular from Japan. France also has some good tournaments. US as well. Brazil. But, Japanese team tournaments will be the best. Japanese FT10s, etc. Like, that's going to help you up your game IQ. But, yeah, I'm glad you picked it up after Jazzy. That's exciting to hear. Goki below Barlog, yeah, I mean, kind of trolling, but also like kind of true. But yeah, like I don't want to fight Blanca Cammy T-Hawk. It doesn't feel like it's free. It depends on what character you're using. It's just those characters, you make one mistake and you still die. So if you are playing any of those characters, this tier list is not meant to discourage you or say that you're not going to be good. I think, there are a lot of awesome players that use low tier characters. It's just hard in, FT3 double limb format to win with those guys. I mean, at the Jazzy finale, we had first place Zombie Damage with Phaelong, second place Vile Island with Cammy, third place Mook T-Hawk. And that bracket was no joke. So they gate kept Dillinger, who got fourth with Balrog, and the grand finalists of last year didn't make it into top 4. So it goes to show you that the players will take the tier list and shred it into pieces because it doesn't matter to them. So it's just Hawk shouldn't get in. Hawk is not that good, and Hawk loses to Cammy, Blanca, Zangief, Sagat. He basically loses everybody in the game. I don't think X-Hawk has any winning matchup. So, yeah, he's definitely bottom in the game. And, yeah, there you have it, folks. The tier list. We did it. We got through it. Fun times. There were some smiles. There were some cries. And, it was a good day to take a look at this. If you agree, disagree, let me know. I'm going to save this image out, post it online. We'll skip those other S characters. If you want my S character only one, then you can look at like this one that we made before, or the ones that include S characters. But I think this one makes the most sense for competitive 2X, where we actually have enough data on all of the characters. Sagat is an honorary character, even though he's, playing a different rule set. Still an honorary character of the game, so we're gonna let him have the spot. And, Sagat is just really bad, so I think it's fair. I like watching Sagat. I don't mind it, so. But anyway, alright, fellas. Next tournament's going to be in September. Well, not really. We're doing other stuff next month and the month after. But the next big 2X tournament is going to be September, Dallas Free Play. So I'll try to be there, most likely. And yeah, we'll have some fun times. And hopefully the tier list doesn't change much by then. I'll try to do some cartoon stuff in the morning. I might stream some later tonight, but I'm gonna finish up my coffee and get some work done. Catch up on some. I gotta post up these Jazzy VODs. That's what I gotta do. So work on that. Get some tournament stuff announced again. All that good stuff. And I will see y'all Yeah, later. Might stream later tonight. We'll see. So, all right, fellas, y'all take it easy. If you have not yet, please try out the game. It's a good game. It has some OP characters, but it's still a good game. All right, later.